Hey guys, alright, we're going to do a video today on solving proportions. First, we're going to talk about what proportions are. Then, we're going to look at a couple of examples of solving proportions using two different methods. Let's get started. So first, let's talk about what proportions are. A proportion, or what is proportionality, according to the internet, when I did a quick internet search, it says that two variables are proportional when there's a constant ratio between them. The way I like to look at proportions is the way they're often represented for us, which is two fractions that are equal to each other, and is a constant value that makes them equal to each other. And usually what we need to do with those is we need to solve for x. So let's take a look. So there's a couple of methods to doing this. I'm going to start with the traditional method here. This is the method that you would use when solving any type of equation. So let's get started. I noticed that I have x here in the denominator. I need to get into the numerator. The way I'm going to do that is I'm going to undo this operation of division. I could undo division by multiplying. So I am going to do that. There we go. I'm multiplying that x, and I'm going to have to multiply it on this side. This is to keep the equation balanced. So on this side, I have now x divided by x. Well, x divided by x is 1. So it will no longer affect the equation, or it cancels out. I'm not a big fan of that term. So now I have here 3x. Okay, I have 3x over 10 equals 6. I still need to isolate this x, and I notice here that I have 10 dividing that 3x. Just like I did up here, I'm going to undo that division by multiplying that 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1, so it no longer affects the equation, but I have to bring it onto this side to keep things equal or balanced. So now I have 3x equals 60. From there, I still have to isolate x, and I have a 3 next to it. That 3 is multiplying x. I'm going to undo that multiplication by dividing. So I'm going to divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So that no longer affects the equation. You could call this one x. And we have 60 divided by 3, which is 20. And there's that way of doing it. Okay, next. Here is another method for solving the same equation. So, there's this method here called cross multiplication. Some folks know it as the butterfly method. There's all sorts of funny names for it. Basically what it is a shortcut to the other method here that we have used. It is a shortcut to this. So, the way I do that is instead of multiplying out on this side, then that side, then bring things down, I use that same logic, abbreviate it, by taking this 10 out of the denominator and multiplying it up this way. Then, I take the x and multiply it up this way. Some folks like to draw funny circles around it, so you go do something like this. Then you do something like this. And now they claim you have a butterfly. But I don't think that thing's flying very far. So anyways, right, with that kind of multiplication thing going on, I say 3 times x is 3x. And then 10 times 6 is 60. Let me write it like this, just so you guys could see it. I have 10 times 6. So I'm going to say 3x equals 60. Then I divide by 3. And I have x equals 20. That's the cross multiplication method. So let's take a look at the Last example. So this one's a little bit more complex of a problem. It has two terms in a numerator, but the rules are not going to change. We're going to apply the same logic we did with the other problems to this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the cross multiplication method. Some students, I find, actually like to use a traditional method when they do this because it's easier to visualize. But I'm going to use the cross multiplication method. So I'm going to take this 2, and I'm going to multiply him up to the numerator of x plus 2. Then I'm going to take this 10 here. I'm going to multiply that up to the numerator of 7. So now I have 2x plus 2 equals 7 times 10. Then I'm going to distribute these guys and multiply those guys together. So this becomes 70. Let's fix that so it's a little bit more legible. I got 2x plus 4. Now I'm going to subtract 4. So I have 2x equals 66. Then I'm going to divide by 2. And x is going to equal 33. And that's how we do that. Okay, guys, that's how we solve proportions. You could use either the traditional method or you can use cross multiplication. Cross multiplication is what you will see more often. I hope you guys have found this video helpful.